13,288 runs in tests, 10,889 runs in one-day international.
Easy for you to say, a lot of numbers. How about 48 international centuries and 5 double centuries?
406 catches in both tests and ODIs, and on top of that, 14 stumpings as well.
And here's something you might not expect, 3 back-to-back sixes in his only T20 international.
And on top of that, an unparalleled prophet-like patience, the courage of a warrior, and a level of dedication unmatched by anyone in the business.
We are, of course, talking about Rahul Dravid, who announced his international retirement today in his hometown, Bengaluru.
Yes and no. I think when you leave when you leave playing for India and something that I've lived, a life that I've lived for close to 16 years, and 5 years before that, a first-class cricket, it is tough. It's not easy. It's all I've known all my growing life. It is a challenge. So from that point of view, yes, it was a difficult decision. I have spoken to Sachin. And spoken to him. I've spoken to a lot of my teammates and explained this, and I think every one of them was incredibly supportive, as they have been right through my career. I would like to believe that, no, irrespective of how the Australian series had gone, in my own mind I was very sure that after Australia I was going to sit down and assess and look at a lot of things, irrespective of what happened in Australia. Obviously now it's easy for me to say, but I would like to think that I probably would have come to the same conclusion. Obviously, there are 2 or 3 that come to the top of your head, whether it's the 180 at Hyderabad, at Calcutta in that partnership with Lakshman, whether it's the 233 in Adelaide, the couple of innings that I played in Jamaica to win a test match on a low-scoring wicket, Headingley, Rawalpindi. So I guess there are a few that will come to the top of my head, but there's not one particular one. I think it's hard to choose between your sons. People call me the wall, and I used to always joke, and I used to say that, look, these guys are setting me up, because then after when I fail, it's easy to say another brick in the wall falls down, or the foundations are weak, and I've seen a lot of, so it was a nice line for people who write the people who put the headlines on the newspapers. I'm sure that there will be many opportunities and ways in which I will be able to contribute to the game and try and it's wrong to use the word contribute to the game. I don't think the game's too great sometimes for us to be able to contribute to it. But play my part in maybe, helping young kids or whatever it is. But to be honest, I have not made up my mind, not decided. Come June, I'll have time to sit down and think and see what lies ahead of me.
As well as helping India win overseas, Dravid also scored mountains of runs in draws overseas, averaging more than 75 in those matches, with 10 centuries in 32 tests. He's one of only 3 Indians to score 2 centuries in a single test. Sunil Gavaskar and Vijay Hazare are the others. The legendary right-hander is the only batsman right now to score more than 10,000 runs at that position, and he did it with a superb average as well, scoring close to 53 runs per dismissal. Dravid's ability to stay at the crease for long periods meant that he was involved in 88 100-plus stands, a world record in itself.
Oh, there's no doubt that I've been very lucky to be able to have a really good association with Rahul. He's probably the nicest guy. No, he is the nicest guy that I've met in cricket. He's a phenomenal man. I suppose I'm lucky that I can continue. He's my captain for Rajasthan, so I'll continue to talk cricket as much as I possibly can, because I do love talking to him, because he's got a lot to be able to, lot of knowledge to be able to give.
I think it's a right decision, and it's an unselfish decision. Well, you can continue for whatever time you want, but when you play for so long, when you've been such a servant of Indian cricket, you also decide taking an Indian cricket in mind. And I think the decision has come, and very rightly, and I honestly feel he's taking the right decision. If I was in his position, I would have left after the tour of England last year. Well, as I said, again, it's all individual decisions, but I think Dravid has definitely made a statement, and more importantly, a statement to the selectors. that Indian cricket needs to change. We've lost 8-0, and here is one great man who stood up and said that it's time for me to go and time for change. So I think it's a notice to the selectors that hopefully when the next Test series comes, they take the right decisions and get in the right thing to bring Indian Test cricket back on track.
और बखूबी उन्होंने अपनी जो जिम्मेदारी दी गई है उसको निभाया है उन्होंने, और उनका योगदान जो है बहुत बड़ा योगदान है भारतीय क्रिकेट के लिए, उनके खुद के लिए भी, कर्नाटका क्रिकेट के लिए भी। और मैं समझता हूं कि उनकी जो क्षति है वो इतनी आसानी से पूर्ति उसकी नहीं हो सकती है।
Rahul is somebody not only on the field, even off the field, he was somebody you always look up to. The way he prepare for a game, or the way he works hard towards his game, and he was just a phenomenal guy off the field also. He was always there to help you, and I mean personally I am somebody who always used to look up to him, and the way, especially in last 10 years since after 2002, the turnaround he did, not only in his game, even off the field, looking after himself, it was just great.
Rahul Dravid batted beautifully. He batted for more than a day without committing a single error, and that is a hallmark of a good, in fact a great cricketer. And it's not just his double century in that game. I think the way he batted in the second innings to win the game for India, he may not have scored a century. I think he scored about 70 odd runs, remained unbeaten till the end, and scripted a fantastic, historic win for the Indian cricket team, something that Indian team hadn't really achieved in the past.